It's time to sit back and relax and watch as I turn boxed iron banding into a brilliant Barbie Platinum. Welcome back, friends. It's me, your girl, Katie from Bobby Hair Studio, and today I have this huge color transformation sitting in my chair. We're not only doing a really fun color transformation, we're also doing a cut transformation, and it's something I haven't done in a very long time, but we have so much previous color here. I'm just going to give you a quick run through. We have some old bleach out that she colored over with box dye to try to make closer to her natural, and then she got really sick of that, and she put Joico Intensity in the front to give her this big purple piece, which we're going to try to bleach out today, and you'll see how that turns out. But overall, we want to get as blonde as possible, and we also want to shave a quarter of her hair off. So this is what we have to begin with. There's some breakage from her ponytails, but I told her how to limit that so she can keep her hair healthy in the future. And here we are, just cutting off a big chunk of her hair to begin with. And I'm just shaving her down, giving her a little bit of that undercut, side cut. And I'm going from a 2 to a 4 up towards where her parting is. And that's also going to get bleached. It's going to look super cool. She just wanted something really like fun and fresh and funky and interesting. She wanted to sweep her hair over the side and have some front side swept bangs as well. And I opened up her hair and I just kind of wanted to show you guys the application of her previous color. So this is not a cut and dry type of situation today. We have not an exact area for where our old bleaching is. As you can tell in the sides, it's much higher up, and in the back, it's much lower down. I don't know where she was getting her bleaching done, if it was being done at home or at a salon. Either way, I'm just keeping in mind where the line of demarcation is and that it changes kind of all over the head today. Today, I'm going to be using Be My Boo by FRAMAR, or FRAMAR, however you want to pronounce it. Don't call me out in the comments about it. Chill. But these are my favorite foils they've come out with this year. Look at that little boo! Look at the ghosts. They're so cute. Anyways, back to the hair. What's in my bowl? I have Schwarzkopf and 7 volume to start with. We're going to be moving that developer level up as we go. And I've got a paddle. And I have my FRAMAR back bib here because we're going to be getting really messy, and this helps to keep my client really clean and also helps to keep them insulated as well. So let's get started. Now you don't have to say it, but you're going to say it anyways, and I know you guys are all going to be in your feelings about this, but yes, I am starting with her root application, and I'm applying around the face and everywhere in the front, perimeter, all first. And everyone's going to be like, you don't start with the roots first with bleach. It's fine. Relax. I've been doing this for 10 years. I know what I'm doing. And because of my application today, she ended up with a really even and damage-free result. Of course, there's still going to be a little bit of some color that we're going to have to work through over the next little while because she came in with a really, really uneven banded canvas. So there's going to be a little bit to work with, but overall, I think we got a really good result. And I am starting with her roots and her like virgin root area and going from roots down to mid shaft, down to the ends today. And I will explain to you why I'm doing that. We're starting with the roots with a 7 volume and Blonde Me. This is a very gentle, low developer. We're not going aggressive on the root. That means it can stay on for a long time. But also, if you look at her natural color, she's like a level 7. She's a dirty blonde. So a dirty blonde can lift up really nice and light with a low volume developer like this on the scalp. It still takes a little while, but this is going to be our easiest and gentlest and cleanest way to apply everywhere. Is we apply right to the scalp first, then we bump up our developer and we apply it to the mid shaft, and then we take the ends as they need to be done. So I'm getting the roots here, and the reason why the roots are going to process at the same rate as the mid shaft is because I'm going to be using my foils to insulate and keep the mid shaft warm and moist. And I know we hate the word moist, but I'm still going to use it today because I don't want to say wet. I don't want to be saying we're keeping that mid shaft warm and wet. That is so disgusting. I'm canceled. I'm canceling myself. You guys, I'm done. I'm done with YouTube. Ew, I hated that. Okay. Anyways, back to the hair. We are applying our lightener with 7 volume and now a little bit of 20 volume by the time we got to this bowl to the mid shaft, and we are applying a generous amount using our paddle so that we can fully saturate both sides of the hair. I'm taking thin enough sections, and the reason why I'm using this paddle is because then I can really kind of brush that product on and through and fully saturate. There's nothing worse than doing a full, there's a lot of things worse, but there is a lot of things worse. There's nothing more frustrating than when you're trying to get a perfect platinum bleach out and you realize you didn't saturate fully through your strands and you just have brown chunks and pieces all over underneath because you didn't properly saturate. So that's why I like utilizing a paddle or a hand underneath. Now a hand can get really, really messy because you use your hands for everything. So that's why I do appreciate using a paddle and just laying a strip of foil underneath. So these strips of foil are going to keep her all nice and isolated. I'm not worried about putting the foil right up to the scalp, right up to the root, because that has enough warmth to keep it processing at a gentle and even pace. And as you can see, I'm just using one of these like bigger, thicker brushes to apply. I'm not using a power painter brush or a really soft brush because I want to be able to have like the strength in the bristles to get through these pieces. Also, something that I'm doing is I'm being quite consistent with the thickness of my slices that I'm applying with today because I want them to all process at the same rate. If you have thicker slices, they're going to process slower. Even if you think you're putting on a ton of product, it's going to process a lot slower than a thin slice. But if you take a slice that's super, super thin, it's just going to take you forever to apply, and that's going to make it difficult to work with your leveling up and your developers. So every time I'm mixing up a new bowl here today, I'm actually mixing up more than 1 scoop. I'm mixing 2 to 3 scoops with my bowls because I'm working through them very, very fast. This is saving me time, but I'm also ensuring that I'm going through my bowls every 10 to 15 minutes maximum. As you guys know on my channels, when I do my color corrections, some of my rules of thumb are to always have a fresh bowl of bleach and to always have consistent saturation everywhere and consistent sectioning everywhere as well, and that will allow you to have a really consistent lift because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to even out this very uneven canvas. So as you can see, her roots are lifting. A lot of people might be very concerned about the health of her roots, but what I like about this way is that instead of rinsing out her roots when they're done and then applying just from scratch to those brown areas and trying to miss the root area, is I'm just able to resaturate on top of those roots and go down through the mids, and I'm trying to not go really too much into that old blonded area, but of course our line of demarcation is kind of all over the place today, so I'm just trying to get anywhere that seems dark enough that it needs this 7 with 20 volume lift. Then I'm applying those foils, again keeping it warm, but putting on a bleach mid-shaft kind of section on top of some old bleach that's still processing on the roots, I find is much more gentle, and you don't have to worry about overlap as when you let the bleach fully process to a level 10, then you rinse it off and then have to do that brown mid-shaft area. I just find that takes way too long. It's very difficult to make sure that you don't overlap or don't underlap, and then you get brown spots all over the hair. This is my preferred way to do it. And because she is a natural level 7, she has a previously lifted bleach base in there, which is like at a level 8 right now, and then it was covered over with box dye. There's so much going on, but I find that Blonde Me lifts fast enough, but it lifts consistently fast until like the job is done. As long as you keep it warm and wet, then it will keep going. The worst thing, oh my god, if people just like clipped chunks of my YouTube videos and put them over adult videos, I mean, it would, okay, I gotta stop myself, this is ridiculous. Anyways, that's why I am applying the bleach the way I'm applying it today. This is a stupid video. This is so dumb. All right, like I've contained myself. Okay, so now that we're moving on to more the top of the head, I am using a higher volume. I've mixed to a 20 volume with Blonde Me, and I'm again fully saturating every piece, front and back, thin sections as we go. And the top of the head is going to be a little bit warmer than the sides because heat rises and it's going to rise up through the top of these foils. But what I like to do with the top foils is I put them all in and then I kind of flip them over to let the last ones that I put in be insulated against the side of the head or whatever foils were put in earlier. And then I allow some ones that were put in earlier to be the center open parting piece. And that's what I did today to just make sure that her last foils process at the same rate as everything else by insulating them with heat. But of course, before I do that, I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like to have her foils all sitting in there and that side shaved piece and how it looks like it's lifting. So now that the roots and the mid shaft are all in and isolated and insulated, we are going to be doing the ends of the hair as well. So as you can see, I've flipped over some pieces here and I'm letting them all stay warm on those last bits. And then I'm going to be showing you what my last foil looks like up in the back to see if that's ready to have us reapply any lightener to her ends, because those are fragile because they were bleached before. So this is what it looks like. Here's the reveal. And as you can see, the roots and that first like inch has like lifted up to like a level 9-ish, but we've got a strong level 8 band here. So it's showing that we're not quite ready. I'm going to reapply what's in the bowl onto this bit, but it has lifted to now what everything else has lifted to at the bottom. So we're getting there, everything's evening out, and this is all going according to plan. And that's what you want to see, is you want to see those mid shaft areas looking more like the ends because they're like a level 8. Now down here, we're looking really good. Everything in the mid shaft has lifted up to very close to what the root has lifted to. So that's showing us that around that area, we're ready to start applying to the ends. So this is how I apply to the ends. I've clipped everything up. And what I like to do for my bleach outs, as you may have seen in some of my other videos, is I like to take my fingers and scrape the old bleach down from the root area to remove it from the root, because the root's done processing, and apply it to those ends. And those ends I like to just apply it to because they're very fragile, and then I put a little bit of new lightener on top of them, and overall that gives it just kind of like a wash over, more of a gentle lightening than putting on something that's like brand new 30 volume, developer and lightener. We're not doing that. We're using some old developer and lightener that's in the bowl, plus whatever has been scraped off down from the root area. And that's going to allow for a very, very gentle, slow lift for some of these bottom pieces. And as we work our way towards the top and the front, those pieces will have less time to process and less time to lift. So anything that goes in there first, we use kind of like old developer, old bleach, because we want that really, really slow going lift. We want something being really gentle on these pieces. Also because all those kind of baby hairs underneath the base of the neck area, they tend to be really, really snappy. And she had some previous damage under here, I think due to some like ponytail damage. I couldn't really tell if that was chemical damage or ponytail damage, but I wanted to be very careful with those underneath bits. So yes, with the back today, I'm using whatever was in the bowl, which is like some old 20 and 7 volume developer together. And that had been processing in the bowl for a while, so it's not very strong. And then when I do go onto the sides, I do mix a fresh bowl of 20 developer with the Blonde Me, and I apply that to the ends because I want that all to catch up to whatever's in the back, all at a proper pace. However, this back does lift up pretty quickly because it's all very warm. And, it's been sitting on there for a while. So I do end up washing out the back before I do the sides and the front, which is totally okay. That's usually the way that we do things with color correction, is we kind of wash out bits and pieces as they need be, which is why it's good to start with the back. Also, I am reapplying any lightener to any areas that aren't quite the level we want them to be. And I'm just using my hands to massage those pieces through, and the foils just to lay them on top of there so we still get a warm, wet strand of hair. I can't. Somebody take this microphone away from me. This is ridiculous. So anyways, after letting that process for a while, here is what the back top piece looks like. It is looking super close, but as you can probably see if you look close enough, that kind of middle area is still looking like it's a warm level 9 or like a light 8, but not quite where everything else is. So that needs a few more minutes. So I'm going to pin this piece and a few pieces underneath of it away and on top of the head, to insulate and keep it all warm, because again, that heat from the top of the head is going to rise up and warm up these foils that I'm placing on top of there, helping them to catch up. And the rest of the hair I'm going to be checking, and this is part of color corrections. You're just constantly checking and rechecking your pieces, your foils, making sure everything has proper saturation, you haven't missed out any spots. And this is what that all looks like rinsed out. So as you can tell, obviously it's like, whoa, that is super orange and super yellow. And that's just the way things look when the bleach has been rinsed out. This is her underlying pigment. It's a very gold pigment, but overall she lifted to a really, really good color, something really beautiful. And her hair is still totally intact and actually quite healthy. And I'm very surprised because we didn't use any bond builders or anything today. We just went for it, and her hair is doing very well. So this is what it all looks like after the sides and top processed. We rinsed them out, shampooed and conditioned the hair, and now we're going to be toning. So today's toner, we're going to be doing like Barbie Malibu Blonde. We're doing something beachy and golden and very, very bright. I asked my client, I was like, what do you want to do for your blonde? She's like, I don't really know. And I said, do you want to do cool or warm? And she said, I want to do warm. And I said, do you want to do like a golden blonde? She said, yes. So I'm very surprised that that purple piece lifted out, by the way. That is amazing. But that also speaks to Joico Intensity and the quality of their color line that they make. I love the Joico Intensity color line. It's also fantastic to use if you want to add some fun color to your hair and you don't want to bleach your hair. You're like a level 6 or 7 or higher. Joico Intensity is so good. I remember I used to use it when I did my hair magenta. I absolutely love it. So, you know, I mean, I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I just appreciate a good color line. Anyways, I am using today Schwarzkopf Vibrance for her toner, and I'm using equal parts of the 9-55, which is a gold, and the 9.5-46. So that's a level 9.5, and it's with a beige chocolate base. So I'm mixing gold, beige, and chocolate in equal portions, and I'm putting that all over her head, starting with the ends first. This is what her hair looked like before, just as a quick little reminder. Just want to show you guys how far we've come today in a few hours. And then what we ended up with is like a beautiful sunny golden platinum beachy blonde. And it's because of those golden, beige, and chocolate tones. I put no ash in her hair. I just wanted to balance, keep it bright, keep it golden, and then she can maintain any kind of brass maintenance at home with purple shampoo. But this results in her being as light as possible. Her hair is so shiny. It's feeling quite healthy. I'm very happy with it overall. But let's do my 2 stars and a wish, as I always do in my videos if I have the time. So my 2 stars today, number 1, I am so happy with how healthy her hair turned out. There's no breakage. She is looking super healthy all the way down to her ends, and we did a really fun haircut with it. So I mean, that's just something new to show. My 2nd star is I am quite happy with how the purple ended up coming out of the hair very cleanly, and we couldn't even tell there used to be purple in the hair. So there's nothing that we had to deal with that. My wish would probably be to leave on the lightener on a couple of the pieces that were on the ends in the front. Now, luckily we did end up doing a side bang, which cut off a decent amount of those like level 9, not 9.5 ends. But overall, her hair looks really quite beautiful to me. I'm very happy with it, and I think we made massive steps towards the right direction today with our color correction, not color perfection. We are correcting and evening out her canvas. Overall, I think we did a great job, and I think we're about 90% of the way there. Anyways, what did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Sorry I got a little crazy there in my video. I hope you guys still liked it. And if you didn't, I'm sure I'll hear about it. So let me know in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe to support the channel. And I'll see you guys for the next one.